Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Holman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie.
And today we will be finishing our discussion of Cosmic Star Heroine by Zaboy Games. And, we'll talk about this final dungeon and final boss as much as we can.
Hold on a second. Hey, hold on a second. Luna, get the fuck out of my room. Oh, and my roommate's dog just laid a big old dookie in my room.
She just wants you to save your game. That's what
My
Luna's there
roommate's
for.
dog, Luna loves to do that. She does not belong up here. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I had to yell at her so she would run out the door.
Okay.
Go on.
No, you're good.
Yeah, love to start our podcast with Dog Dookie. That's the one. But yeah, so today we will talk about the ending of the game as much as we can, talk about our feelings of the game overall, and then answer some Q&A, if that's cool with everyone. Mm-hmm. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
Well, so first off, I wanted to thank you for reminding me to be hot, because as you know, I have a debilitating case of glamnesia. Sorry, that was my dumb joke of the day. It was bad.
I love it, though.
Okay, great. There hasn't really been that much going on for me. Ken and I went on a date the other night and watched It Too, and I will say, it was good, but we almost walked out of it at the first scene.
Wow.
So, spoiler alert, gay people get beat the fuck up and killed.
Aw.
Yeah, it's.
I can't believe Pennywise is not an ally.
Well, it's not just Pennywise. It's a bunch of kids who start it. But I mean, the thing is, it's supposed to be because of Pennywise affecting people's attitudes and like spreading negativity through people and spreading toxicity and things like that. Like, it's Pennywise's influence. But that's not really made clear. I know that because...
Well, also, in the real world, that happens even though Pennywise isn't real, so...
Right, exactly. And, like, that's part of what made it so fucking upsetting.
Right. You're just like, oh shit, this isn't a horror movie, this is just real life.
Yeah. But we stuck it out, and it was really good otherwise. However, I urge extreme caution if you are going to see it, because that scene is insanely upsetting.
So
I'll show up late to the theater.
Not to just continue on our weird tech tangent that we've had this whole time. Eli, what about is your recording timestamp, since we started at the same time?
13:47.
Okay, I may have lost 5 seconds worth of stuff. I don't know. I might have started 5 seconds after you. All I know is it didn't look like it was moving just now, so this will be fun. I just love all of our computers. So
look, it's gonna be great. We all love to see it, okay?
Everyone should go to ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub and buy us all new computers.
Where's our sugar daddy patron?
Right? Technically that's Ken, because he has the highest.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't think he could afford us new computers, though.
No.
Can we get much higher?
In fact, I know he couldn't, because I am his husband. And
Aww.
I know.
True,
I'm his
you are
husband.
now.
It's only been 2 weeks, and I'm still like, I can't fucking believe I'm married. I thought no one would ever marry me. I thought I was unlovable.
You're the most lovable.
Aww.
Ridiculous.
Thank you.
So I think what I might be seeing as my thing freezing is Ocean Audio knows that it's not important, so it doesn't update its thing, because it seems to still be doing stuff when I click away from it. But the fact that it pauses freaks me out.
Here's hoping.
Yep. We'll just make like a tree and cry. But yeah. So that was Eli's week. I think we probably
there wasn't really anything else
diverted it. Yeah. What about you, Maddie?
What did go on in my week? It's been pretty busy. Over the weekend, I promised our friend of the show, Bernard, that I would finish something very important that I was working on as a secret.
You were finally playing Resident Evil?
But... Yes, but I don't feel guilty about it. I tried my gosh darn best and did a really good job and didn't finish the thing. But I've been very productive with my life, like accomplishing goals and shit in general, which is nice and cool. My roommate was gone for a couple of days, so I had to take care of both of the dogs, which isn't a huge problem, except that I sometimes work very, very long hours. And that's a lot. Usually, I can kind of take advantage of my roommate being there. It's like, oh, I'm going to be working till I'm going to be gone for 12 straight hours today. Can you let my dog out for a little bit? Not so much this weekend, but it turned out fine. The dogs are fine. They're sweethearts for once. Yeah, that's it. Also, lifelong goal accomplished. I finally beat Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
Oh, that's why you were singing.
So that's exciting. Yes. Also, I sing that song all the time because it's always in my head. Yeah. But yeah, what's it called? I played the game like a million times. I always fall off of it, and this time I actually beat it. Oh, look, it's Yoshi. And it's a really good game. It's a great game. I mean, we all knew that. That's not surprising anybody. Turns out it was like the last 2 worlds or so that I hadn't ever really played before.
Yoshi's...
Yeah, but yeah, I beat that last night right before starting to play Cosmic Star Heroine.
Also, right before finishing Cosmic Star Heroine.
Yoshi's very proud of you, Maddie.
Yeah,
Thanks, Yosh.
I've had a weird relationship with video games lately, because I got all the things, but I don't want to ever play all the things, and so I made an Excel sheet that'll just tell me what to play every day. And lately, I've just been not even wanting to play any of those games, and so I've just been trying out random stuff. And I happened to try out Paper Mario Sticker Star, and it's great. It's so great that I did not play any Skies of Arcadia and instead played Paper Mario Sticker Star and wrote a JRPG Canon article about it. That's up for patrons as of yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's up for patrons as of yesterday. It'll be up for everybody else in about a week. But it's real good. And it's
fucking good.
I did finally get to one of the parts where people complained about it. But it was after I wrote the article, and I'm not going to update the article because that game needs more positivity. But people complained that the game doesn't tell you anything. It has it's kind of like in Cosmic Star Heroine, where you can press a certain button to be told what to do, and it doesn't tell you anything sometimes. And I ran into one of those. If it's in the desert, it's the second world, but there's the whole thing with the Oasis level where it's a big sandstorm, and what you need to do is drop down a vacuum cleaner sticker, but Kirsty doesn't tell you. The hint is a outlet on the wall, but I have a fan, a jackhammer. I have all these things that use outlets, and so I'm like, that didn't tell me anything, and I ended up having to Google it. So it's not. I see why it frustrates some people, but the main criticism was not it's hard to know where to go. The main criticism was it's not an RPG, but that is a heck of a lie. And yeah, I liked it a lot.
Also, I don't know, these people played adventure games.
Yeah.
Don't they know about mashing every item you have against every other item you have to see if something happens?
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically all I've done. Me and Summer started playing Higurashi together to get ready for that bonus episode, and it ate our entire week. Literally, we would wake up and she would be over on her computer. I would come to sit down with breakfast, and then she would click the Higurashi button, and then 2 hours later I would leave for work. So it's good. I'm excited to talk about it with everybody, but it ate my whole week.
Is it that long?
No. So the first, because we're going to divide it into 2 episodes. The first episode's worth is about 6 hours.
Okay.
So they're beefy, but easily skimmable. It's just a lot of reading, and so we read a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not like we did it every single morning for like 5 hours at a time.
Okay.
It was all just like 1 or 2 hours. I go to work at I start getting ready for work at 2 p.m. So it's not a big chunk of the morning. But yeah, so I can't make you guys listen to Cosmic Star Heroine right now in the stream, but you listeners in the future can listen to some final music from Cosmic Star Heroine, probably the final boss music, and then we will start talking about this here final boss.
Computers.
How do they work?
Anywho, so we go into the giant Black Omen.
So actually,
the giant.
That does remind me, since you saved later than we did, we should talk about everything from leaving the ship in that whole cutscene.
I'm so sorry. Yes, we got to back up and talk about that. Yes, because I accidentally thought we did it last week. Yeah. So what happens there?
So, basically, you go over to your galaxy map. That doesn't even look like a galaxy map. It's a really bad galaxy map. You go to your galaxy map and you say, "Final boss dungeon, please." And then you start to fly out. And I don't remember exactly what happens, but like something starts to go wrong, like the boss dungeon robot thing like starts to shoot at you or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm pretty sure the bad guys are just too good at guns.
Yeah, I think they're good at guns, and they're trying to shoot at you, and so then lo and behold, in comes the API, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna blow up in a hole so you can fly through." Oh, I remember what it is.
Echo.
Echo shows up. But I remember what the big thing is. That's when they blow up the hive. So the Already in her giant Gundam thing turns towards the hive and blows it up. And we're like, oh no! And then Echo's like, don't worry, I got you. And so then we fly in, and it's really well animated as far as Cosmic Star Heroine space scenes go. Like, I enjoyed watching it. There's a lot of cool like debris and stuff as the robot breaks out and all that cool stuff. But yeah, so then we land inside of this dungeon, and then we walk through the dungeon.
So this here dungeon contains. It's weird. It's not consistent. It doesn't contain ultimate weapons for every character. It contains like ultimate weapons for some characters, and then like some equipment for some characters.
It has an ultimate weapon in there for Already.
Yeah, it does.
Yep. Which is hilarious.
I thought it was spoiling itself. Like maybe we were gonna get Already back. No. It's
I was thinking like, is she gonna rejoin?
Yeah.
And the game doesn't seem to have a new game plus mode either.
Yeah.
So I don't understand
I think
what
it's
the point
just
of
a
that
funny
is.
joke.
Oh.
I think it's a joke.
It's this game not believing in itself and needing to.
I think that's a good joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like
that's like a good RPG meta joke. It's like, haha, she would have been here, but she turned bad.
Yeah, I actually am. I am. So spoilers for a game that won't be ready for 5 years, so you'll forget. So it's okay. But I'm using that idea as like a dramatic thing for my game. Like one of the characters is going to die, and so you're going like really early on, and you're going to get a bunch of equipment for him throughout the game, because of course you're still going to find swords or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's not like all the shops are going to stop selling swords.
Yeah, and so you keep finding equipment for him, and then as part of the Disc 3 bullshit, when you literally go to hell, you're like, oh, cool, this is where we get him back. And they're like, oh, no, he was a good guy. He didn't go to hell. And you're like, oh, so you just don't get him back. That's
great. I
was
guess,
like that. I guess led me in the wrong way.
I guess I didn't think it was a good joke at the time because I was annoyed by it. I was like, you could have given me gear that was useful for someone who's here.
Yeah, and like what makes me a little upset about this one is the fact that like you get something good for Alyssa, you get something good for Zixorv, you get something good for Orson. Then you get something not as good for Zixorv, and then you get the thing for Already, and it's like, okay, like, I can't play anything else but this right now.
Yeah.
This should have been, if you suck at catching the orbs at the end of Final Fantasy X, and you fight all of those mobs, they drop ultimate weapons for everybody, because it's like, look, you're about to face the final fucking boss. If you're having trouble...
Shawnee didn't get anything. It's weird.
There was also one chest that you opened that was like, hi, my name's Molly. I took the contents of this chest, but here's some cool tips. And I was like,
That's weird. I didn't find that one.
Yeah. I should have screenshotted it. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was something about using the link skills, which I've, once again, never used.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how.
They're good as hell.
The last... The last shop in the game sells trickster shields that are maxed out damage resistance, so everybody has a trickster shield, including Alyssa, and I know that locks me out of the cool moves, but I like to not die, and I kill things good enough, so...
I mean...
Nice.
Again, I was on Weenie Hut Junior mode, so it didn't really matter.
You're like, oh no, I needed ultimate weapons,
some of them
so I could kill
are
people
gated
faster.
behind... some of your chests are hidden behind optional battles. Some of them are not. Some of them you just get skis. And you go through like 3 screens, and there's like no dialogue or anything. And then you get to the northest most of the dungeon, and you see a big wall robot, like embedded into the whole wall. It's just like a big coil of metal and such. And there's a little face inside of it, and you talk to it, and Already goes, "My friends, you've come to see me," which is definitely something a villain wouldn't say. Definitely not ominous villainous dialogue. She says, "I see you still have those pesky mind shield." Okay, pesky. If you ever say the word pesky, you might be a villain. "I see you still have those pesky mind shields activated. I guess you're here to interfere as usual." She says like 3 more lines, and then you fight her. And you fight Integrated Already, who in my game has 85,000 hit points, no weaknesses, friend no more. And if I recall, she mostly just does an all attack that hits all for pretty fucking heavy damage every turn. And sometimes she gets 2 turns because she has fast speed. It took me 2 tries to beat her. I had to totally back out, revamp my party, rethink my strats before going back in. What about y'all?
She was pretty easy. Like I said, this whole last thing took me like 15 minutes. I don't even remember much about the fight itself.
I remember it had cool music.
Yeah, the boss music was great. The music in this game is so good.
Real good music.
But like, I just don't remember the specifics about the fight. It kind of just happened. It like.
Do y'all remember y'all's final boss party?
Yes. So I had all the people who I just got ultimate weapons for. That was my party. I had Alyssa and Zixorv and Orson, and who was my last? My last, I think, was Saibi, because I didn't get an ultimate weapon for him, but no, it was Sue. That's who it was, because I did get ultimate weapon for him.
I had Alyssa, Dave, Orson, and Sue. Dave, because he can buff people. So
yeah.
Yep. Even though Orson fucking rules, I ended up taking him out of my final party after some shuffling. I went with Alyssa, Sue, because as the two of y'all have also discovered, Sue just does bonkers damage.
Yeah.
All the time.
Zixorb, and Chani. The last one was kind of a wild card. I was like, it could be Chani, it could be Dave. They both have way too little health. It's annoying. But Zixorb and Sue just do stupid fucking damage. And also the final boss, I believe, the final boss is weak to water, so no one else does water except Alyssa. So it's like, it doesn't matter type effectivenesses, you know what I mean? I also rejiggered their abilities quite a bit before I went into this battle. But yeah, I after my second attempt at this boss, I beat her. And let's see. After you beat her, you get a little hologram message from Areti, who I guess is just straight up dead. She doesn't even get like a death monologue or anything. Well, I guess this is it, but it's post-death. She's dead. That's it. End of story. So her hologram says, if you're hearing this, that means I'm dead. I apologize for any pain and suffering my actions may have caused you. Talking like a politician who just said something racist. Lumina's pool is strong, but in my moments of free will, I built a virus into my eye drone. Should it rejoin eternity, it will weaken its focus. I hope this gives you the chance to destroy it for good. Succeed where I have failed, defeat eternity, then I will feel that my death was not in vain. So, you then don't get to save. No. All three battles are just one after the other. It's just like battle. I was thinking this would be a good time to let me save and like change my party, but no. Whatever party you pick, you're stuck with. So, at this point, you fight. Oh, I did not get a screenshot. There's actually 3 bosses, not 2. And I took 0 screenshots for the second one because I guess nothing happens.
It just slightly different tactics and a different boss sprite. If I remember correctly, the second one has doohickeys on the sides, or is that it?
They both do. Yes, the second boss has 2 big arm buddies on either side, and they're actually not the same stats wise. The buddy in the middle has less HP than the boss we just fought, but it also has 2 buddies. It wasn't a huge deal. The boss in the middle has low. Whenever a boss has buddies, you got to make that decision. Like, do I go after the buddies or not?
Yeah.
And in this case, the actual boss had low enough HP, and the buddies had high enough HP that the difference wasn't quite enough. So I was like, I'm just going to go for the boss.
Yeah, me too. I excuse me. 2 of Alyssa's water moves are hit all, so like I did things to the other ones, but I was focused on just the boss.
Yeah, I just focused on the boss in the center.
And then you beat it, and then you go to the final boss, and low-key Chrono Trigger reference, the way the boss looks, and the sort of layout of the room, and that kind of thing, low-key Chrono Trigger reference.
Yep.
And you fight this... Oh, the second boss had regular boss music, which was funny.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to jerk you around, and maybe they wanted to make sure you knew it wasn't the real final boss. They're just like, don't worry. Hear the music? You got one more. It's fine. That way they wouldn't be stringing you along endlessly. This final boss, though, does that final boss thing that some games do where it's got like really chill music. It was real good. And this one also has 2 buddies called Yin and Yang.
I never even looked at them. I also just hit the boss.
Yin and Yang 2020. Just kidding. That's a joke. Don't vote for Yang. They both have like 1 million hit points, and their description is like practically invincible. And they're both weak to water. And then, so yeah, if they have 1 million HP, then I'm not going to attack them. And the main boss has a more reasonable amount of HP, and the description is something like slow to charge up, but when it does, watch out. it didn't charge up.
I
So
beat
the
it
whole
before it
battle
charged
for
up
me
too.
was just the yin and the yang attacking me, and the middle one never did. And I've played this whole game on hard mode. This battle did take. Actually, it didn't take too long. I'm pumping out damage pretty good now. But whatever it is that happens when it charges up. Oh, that's why I had Chani. Her fucking buff all move is so good.
Yeah.
It's so
great.
good. That's the only reason she was there, and she actually saved my ass, honestly. Because they would keep hitting people and it wouldn't do that much damage. Yeah, you kick its butt. That's it. Zagreb says, "We did it," which is a funny sort of upbeat thing for a cool assassin to say. They say, "We gotta get out of here before it's too late." Why did I take a video? Whatever. Then you escape, and the final boss says stuff like, "Oh, you think you've won. You're excited to have won, but what have you really accomplished? Your pitiful human lives are measured in years." And I'm like, dude, shut up. You just got here like 5 seconds ago, and we kicked your ass. Shut up. And then he's like, "I'll be back." And then there's a credits where there's they must have exceeded their Kickstarter budget by quite a bit on this game, right? Like, because
there's so many backers.
Yeah.
There's so many splash images, and what that says to me is like, we exceeded our budget and spent all the surplus on splash images, which I'm not complaining. That's a good thing to spend your surplus budget on. Yeah, but yeah, so the ending is just like, here, have all of them, have all the pictures of the characters you like doing cool shit.
Yeah.
So you get kind of Chani decides to be the priestess of Gunmancy. Dancy guy does Dancy guy stuff. Do y'all remember what Dave's is?
Dave has
Vaguely.
a game center. He has like a game corner, and he beats his own high score on a video.
Yeah, he's just playing in an arcade, and he's like, hell yeah. Our buddy Cop Man has become the top cop. I
don't know why I couldn't think of the word arcade. It totally escaped me.
a game corner.
I remembered that I wanted to use the word glamnesia this morning, and yet I forgot the word arcade.
Well, I'm glad you remembered one thing. I can remember 0 things. So.
Okay, great.
Our boy hard boiled McGee. He's just chilling in his office with enjoying a good case closed, and then suddenly a hysterical dame appears at his door and is like, you gotta help me. And he's like, oh, settle down, toots. I can hardly understand a word you're saying. And that's it. I want to play that game personally because Orson is great. Buggy Boy looks at his hive being rebuilt and is happy about it. Sue is the new director of the API, which, bless his heart, he deserves it.
Yeah,
he does. Like
he puts on the cool guy sunglasses
over his cool guy sunglasses.
No, he didn't have sunglasses on to start.
Oh, okay.
Assassin guy.
That would be hilarious,
Zagreb.
though, if he had sunglasses on and then he put another pair of sunglasses on over that.
Because the Steel also had crazy sunglasses, so it'd be funny if like that was the badge. You don't get a badge, so let me just take off these sunglasses.
Oh, I actually thought that's what it was.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, I thought that was like the director gets to wear cool sunglasses, but I guess he already had them before.
Yeah.
Anyway, assassin guy does a cool assassin guy thing. He like does a Batman on some guys in the alley. So his life hasn't changed at all.
No.
And that's it. And the game ends.
He literally is just kind of there this whole game. Like he shows up, be like, "Yeah, I'm just here for the bounty." Whatever.
And to do hell of damage. And then at the end, Alyssa is chilling in her ship, and then she gets a transmission from Sue saying, "Hey, I know that you're relaxing, you're enjoying your sort of break, but I am picking up some weird readings in your area. Go check them out." And of course, she smiles and goes off on her next big adventure. And that's Cosmic Star Heroine, fam.
We did.
We did it, folks.
Yay.
Good for us.
All right, so positivity up in this joint. Eli, what was your favorite part of this game?
I thought the battle system was really interesting. And I like how it tries. The game really tries, and it's really trying to be good. And it's really like doing its best. I think that there is room for improvement in a lot of areas, but they had the right idea, and they're going in a good direction, and hopefully hopefully they just keep improving from here. I don't think it's a bad game because it gave me an easy mode and let me beat it real easy. If it was a bad game, it would have one mode, it would be too hard, and I would not want to finish it.
I feel like you're subtweeting at Rogue Galaxy and Xenogears right now.
No. Why would I do that? No, not me. I appreciate what this game was trying to do. I think that it could have worked a little differently, maybe not harder, but differently, to execute it in a better fashion. But in general, it was not a bad game. It just wasn't an amazing game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
I thought
Eli, just now you. Oh, sorry, my connection's bad, so I didn't mean to interrupt. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say.
We were ready for you.
I thought the stats were weird, but other than that, like, the battle system was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. So my connection got weird for a second, and Eli, you were saying like, there's room for improvement, blah blah blah, and then you said, but, and then after that, I just heard silence for like 15 seconds. And I was like, wow, Eli's really hamming up this like dramatic pause before he says what he's going to say.
I'm the calculon of our podcast.
But what?
Yeah. Oh my god, the suspense is killing me. I need to know.
Yeah. It was good. Anyway, what's that? What about you, Sam?
So the game was fun, and like the true sign that something is not a chore, even if I talk smack about parts of it later, is like I would go to my lunch or on break at work, and I would bring my Vita with me to play some Cosmic Star Heroine, and I would accidentally take like a 25-minute break instead of a 15-minute break.
That's always a good sign.
I just would be having fun, and I'm like, yeah, but I've just done a couple things, so it can't possibly be 15 minutes, and it had been twice. So that's real good about
it. Yeah.
And makes me, like, looking back at Breath of Death, looking at Cosmic Star Heroine, and imagining what the future game will be. I'm really excited for the future game to see how good this one was, and the places where they could fix it.
Yep.
And just holding out for a hero.
Hell yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing, as I mentioned before, the soundtrack totally whips. I do think that the soundtrack has a lack of coherence. Doesn't really have a sound. It's got a lot of different kinds of music and different sounds that just sort of whiplash whatever. And I don't think I blame the composer for that. I think it really is more to do with the fact that the game itself isn't super coherent. But that battle theme is, again, literally top 5 RPG battle themes in history. Like, it's that good. Ironically,
the theme
it's so good
song
that the boss battle
also,
themes don't quite keep up.
And the theme song is good too.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of really good tracks. The graphics are really, really nice. The boy just keeps getting better and better at having his games have nice graphics. My favorite thing about it, aside from the music, and aside from the battles, which I've already ranted enough about, is... Well, the music and the battles is the best two things about the game. I really like the characters. The characters didn't get a whole lot of development or characterization, but they're fun and interesting and look cool, which is really, what more do you want? I mean, let's be serious. Right. Just like most big budget franchises, JRPG characters are first and foremost designed to look cool. As I think Tim Rogers said in his review of Final Fantasy XIII, every character is designed to be someone's favorite character. That someone will cosplay it. They're designed with cosplayers in mind, I feel like. Anyway, but I love how the characters' personalities come through in their battles, in their battle abilities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's just like classic, in my opinion, that's... Oh, go on.
I was going to say, in more than all of the like Final Fantasy VI does this, but Cosmic Star Heroine did this better than Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the idea of doing that isn't original. Like, I feel like if you're making an RPG, you should be doing that. Like, that's the whole point. Like why are you making an RPG if experience isn't also a metaphor for life experience? And why are you doing an RPG if the characters' abilities aren't metaphors for their personalities? Why are you doing, you know what I mean? Like, that's the point of an RPG. But they did it so well. And in fact, I feel like in some ways they did a better job of characterization through battle. Like, when you get a Dancy Man in your party, and you see that all of his abilities involve him dying, you're like, oh, I see how this guy is. And then you see that, what's her name, Lauren's abilities all involve, like, stealing the spotlight from her allies. I'm like, okay, I see how this is. And that's really cool. That's really, really cool. I would love to see that developed even more, where just you...
Also, and I said, and also, just... add a shuffle button and make this a card-based battle system.
Make it card-based.
Yeah.
Yes. I do think the battle system, though it is very, very good.
There's a lot of times...
Go on.
So I was just going to say, because there was a lot of times when, like, I could use the top deck coming in clutch feel of a card-based system, where it's like, oh, I don't have any good things left. I really wish that I had so-and-so's other move, but it's situational. It's not something I want to put in for every battle, but it would be great if I had, say, a vulnerable move for Sue, and I don't have one right now. If I could just top deck that and be like, hell yeah, you're going down, boss. I'm gonna fucking vulnerable you this turn. It would make the great battle system already.
Yep. I do think the battle system, I think it lost its luster a bit as it went on. It became a bit too easy to... It was in a weird place. It wasn't boring, typical RPG battle system where you just do the same shit every battle. But it also, because it was a little bit too weird for that, the characters' loadouts were a little bit too weird to just rely on just hitting your attack buttons. But it also wasn't so weird that I was thinking of really cool stuff to do all the time. There were a lot of situations where I would look at my setup and I'd just be like, what do I really do here? And I would just kind of plink away at them. And also, all the bad guys have way too much HP. So basically making it less weird or way more weird would be the solution. And I think more weird, like with a card-based, shuffling, make the characters even less able to directly deal damage, put even more of a reliance on building weird combos and shit. Because what's there is good, but it's like, it's too easy. It's the worst combination of traits, actually. Too easy to do, but you have to do it all the time. Because that means you're forced to do something that isn't actually that hard constantly, that's actually more effort than just mashing a button, right? It's more tiring. That's how I feel about like Pokemon, right? With PP, like it's not hard, but you still have to keep thinking about it. Whereas if it was harder, then it would be an engaging intellectual exercise. If it was easier, you could just space out and hit mash. Being stuck in the middle is like, eh.
Yeah, because about halfway through Cosmic Star Heroine, you realize like, oh, okay, Alyssa is going to buff on turn 1. She's going to use her all water on turn 2 when she's hyper.
Yep.
And wash, rinse, repeat the whole battle type thing. That's then you kind of figure out like your thing, and so then like there's not much that a boss can throw at you to make you change that.
Yeah.
Unless somebody has a not very often used ability of a certain element and they come up weak to that element, then instead of Alyssa using water, she just puts her buff on the person with that element, and then it's the same basic
all
thing.
three of the final bosses were like, wait for Sue's style to get super high, then try to do all these at the same time. Vulnerable the enemy, buff Alyssa, use Alyssa's my next attack is a burst attack, and then on her hyper, use her unite ability, which is unite ability with Sue, that does a burst on Sue and uses all of Sue's style, and then bam, 40,000 damage. I just did that every battle. Whereas if it was a card system, it'd be great if you could pull that off, but you can't necessarily pull that off. So then you're having to ad hoc figure out your cool combos.
One thing I just realized about this game is there are already 3 tabs, so you could have how Alyssa has her like just punch a dude for free, and like you could have everybody's free abilities always be available, always in your hand, and that's the first tab. You can maybe even spice in a couple extra ones, and then you have your items tab, but then your third tab, instead of the programs thing, that just be your hand, and that's just random shit every turn to pick from. And so it's like,
there's a lot of options.
It adds the mashability, and it adds the like weirdness factor to it, and it wouldn't change much about like you wouldn't have to redo almost anything. Like you don't even have to give everybody like a giant ability list. Like Mega Man Battle Network is card based, and your hand is only 5 and your deck size is only 30, and most people are at that right now, and so you just lower their hand size and increase the like add 1 or 2 more abilities for everybody, and you're golden, pony boy.
One final comment about the game's design. I've been wanting to say this for a few weeks. I'm pretty sure this isn't even favorite. This is favorite or least favorite, or I don't know. It's just notable, very notable thing. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the game has like almost no fucking RNG in an RPG. So. That's a bizarre thing.
There is an actual ability. There is an actual ability called RNG, which does a random amount of damage, which I thought was kind of funny.
Right, there's a handful of those. A few characters have them. But attacks do not do RNG, and you'll notice that if you're fighting a group of enemies that are all the same type of enemy and you use an all attack, you'll notice that it does the same damage to all of them every time.
Yeah.
Everything's based on calculations. It's pretty complicated calculations, attack, defense, but also style and hyper and all that stuff, so you can't exactly predict it, but there's no RNG. Stats, even stats are not RNG. You're hitting a stat meter when you use a stat on them. You're lowering their meter, and if you lower it, it hits them. Turn order is not RNG at all. So the fact that there's literally 0 RNG means that it actually is 100% a solvable strategy game, except you have limited information, of course, which is... I'm not even sure how I feel about that. That's bizarre.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder if like speedrunners have caught on to that and have routed it, because like it would be great to know, like, oh, use these 3 abilities and it will kill the boss in your first set of turns.
Yeah,
for every single boss.
It's wild because like one of the fun things about our RNG is that having to react on your feet to things you didn't expect. Like, I think not having it for status effects is almost bad, because every time I use a status effect, isn't the fun part that it might work? Like, if I have a boss who is not very weak to poison or not very weak to stun, I know for a goddamn fact using it on him isn't going to stun him. It's just going to lower his stun meter so I can stun him next time. I'm probably just never going to use the move. But if there's a chance that it might stun him on the first turn, 50-50, then I'm going to use it, right? Anyway.
Especially if it's on one of their, like, setup turns before they go hyper, where it's like, oh, well, I don't have anything to do this time. Might as well see if I can vulnerable.
Anyway, that is that is a gutsy move. That's a very, very extremely bold design decision that is kind of actually absurd. So extremely cool props to Zeboyd for that, and I hope some people pay attention to that and think about it, because that is... I don't think I've literally ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
I like it a lot.
Good job. All right, that's it for me.
Good job. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically everything I had to talk about the game. Yeah, that's like it's good. We got most of our in-game stuff last time because we got more. And kinda, we probably should have just ended last episode, but we had no idea because there's not even guides.
Yep. And that was fun.
Just crazy.
Forging a path unknown into this was very fun, I thought.
Yeah. Speaking of forging a path, so on Monday, a week from today, we will be discussing... Crap, I don't have it up.
That's a weird name for a game.
Such a good segue. I mean, it's Lost Odyssey, but I was going to say the exact part. But
we're starting that next week?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I need to get the Xbox.
Yeah. So, for Lost Odyssey, we will be saving on the world map before entering the Grand Staff construction site. I did my homework, and I plotted out all of the episodes for both Lost Odyssey and Last Remnant, because I did it before we had decided which game we were playing. But I plotted out all of the episodes and when we're stopping. So
let me take a look at that shit so I can comment on it, but that sounds probably good.
I did it because so the wiki for Lost Odyssey had it in chapter chunks, and so I basically took that, divided it by hours, and looked at it, and so I did it from there. So it wasn't just counting bosses like I used to. It was like, this is a plot beat of the story.
I gotcha. I just
did it by there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, should be cool. If it's really long, we'll adjust. Yeah. But for Eli, Eli's taking marriage
slight sabbatical,
and we'll a slight sabbatical, and we'll just be watching the cutscenes. I have no idea where this is. So hopefully they're like, all right, everybody, let's go to the Grand Staff construction site, and you can know to pause. But other than that, I have no clue. So we'll see. I'll probably end up beating it before you start watching it, and I can tell you.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, look, if you get to the cutscene where they're at the construction site, then you've gone too far.
Good old country directions.
I just realized,
if you hit the railroad tracks, you've gone too far.
Since we're playing this week, I should do what I do whenever we play a game I played before, which is provide tips. Kind of way more so than any game we played before, Xenogears, even more than Dragon Quest V. This is, again, real-ass RPG hours. It's pretty tough, actually. So put some damn effort into it.
Good reason Eli takes a sabbatical.
It's not hard as bitch. It's not hard as a motherfuck. But it's like, if you ever thought I wish Final Fantasy X had been a little harder, well, here's a game for you, buddy.
Oh, cool. Glad I'm not playing then.
Yeah, there was a lot of times in Final Fantasy X I was like, I wish this was a little easier.
The game doesn't have whammo difficulty, at least until the second disc, so you should be okay. But there's going to be one boss this week that is real tough. It's the one at the top of the mountain. But it's like Final Fantasy X, it's like the save point heals you, so you just run around a little bit. You know what I mean? But pay attention to shit. Second tip, honestly, this first week, it's kind of boring. The game doesn't start off that great. So, Just be aware of that. The first town. Oh, the NPC writing is really good. So feel free to talk to all the NPCs if you want to be a little bit less bored, because the first town in this game is just a little dull, frankly. That's my opinion, but whatever.
Okay.
There, heads up there. I don't think I really have any other tips. I think the game documents itself very well, and you'll probably understand what you're supposed to be doing. Oh, final thing, sorry. Anytime you go to the inn, it'll be like, so-and-so had a dream, and you get to do this game's main gimmick, which is reading these long, like, novellas. Those are fucking great. However, I would recommend when you first acquire them, don't read them right away, and read them later at your leisure.
Okay. We can talk about them, like, in the finale type thing, or whenever it comes up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Eli can probably find them.
Just doing them right when they show up is just kind of a weird pacing killer, and also would make our talking even longer. So we're gonna have to discuss what to do about those.
Okay.
We shouldn't ignore them because they're fucking great.
Yeah, we'll probably find weeks when we accidentally didn't do anything and plug a couple.
That probably works. Yeah, there we go.
We'll see. Or have a special episode for all of them.
A very special episode.
We'll wing it. But then after we finish this game, which is like 15 weeks from now, but it's important because I then will be gone for 1, maybe 2 games, and it'll just be Maddie and Eli, and maybe Bernard because he'll be editing. And
that would be helpful because I don't know. I'm not sure I am entertaining enough to keep up with just me and one other person.
You literally have a YouTube channel which is just you and one other person, and it's great. So I don't know.
Sam,
I'm gonna have to hard disagree on what Eli just said there.
Yeah. But,
I haven't made a Let's Play in quite a while, and while I appreciate that you two think I'm entertaining, I think you're lying to me to make me feel better, but...
No.
I'm not lying.
No, not at all. Your Let's Plays
I'm bad at lying.
But, so I will be taking that one off, but it's okay because there are 1,000 bonus episodes between now and Christmas for everyone to enjoy hearing my voice. So it's okay for me to take off. But I don't know what y'all will be playing. I hope it's something short because I'm trying to get us at least close back to a year cadence. We took way too long on year 1, but I hope I'm trying for the future us to have 2 shortish games and 2 longish games, or 4 20, 25, 30-hour games. But last year we did like an 80-hour game and then a 40-hour game and then a 60-hour game. And
no. Next year we're doing it, fam. Next year we're doing 1 game. Next year we're doing
Dragon Quest.
No, even that wouldn't be long enough. But yeah,
we're doing Monster Hunter Portable Unite, which its main quest is 200 hours long. But I think that's all of the business. I forgot to click memorable moments when we were doing that. I'm so bad at being the Twitch host. Why do you guys let me do?
I'm not paying attention to it.
What's Twitch?
So let's scoot on over to our Q&A section and let me talk about what people want us to talk about.
Hey Sam, we should do a bit where it's like I'm Bob the Tomato and I'm Larry the Cucumber and we're here to answer your questions, except it's with us.
No.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. So that was back in July, so that's not for this one. So it's September questions. So if you could copy any character from another game and paste them into Cosmic Star Heroine, who would it be?
Wait, say that again?
I'll just do what Zaboy did and say Chrono's running animation.
If you could copy any character from another game and paste them into Cosmic Star Heroine, who would it be? My answer is everyone from Rogue Galaxy. I feel like all of these people would.
Yeah,
that's a good answer.
That would work out a lot. I don't know how to answer that. I don't.
So the answer is Papyrus.
Well, yeah, Papyrus belongs in every game. I was also thinking the Crystal Gems because they're aliens. And so they could go to like the Gem Homeworld and get themselves shattered.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, those are both really good answers. Damn it, folks. I would put I would put in what are they called? It's a throwback to another It Is a Void game and also nerd pandering. I would put in Tycho and Gabe from fucking Penny Arcade not because I like them at all, but because it's pandering and a lot more people would buy the video game. Oh boy, they're in it. Oh boy, they could do dumb jokes for their attacks.
Right. So this is one that we are uniquely equipped as a podcast to answer. Even
which of the characters are gay or trans?
No. What's the best ramen shop in Austin, and why is it Ramen Tatsuya? That comes from Francesco, who ate at Ramen Tatsuya when he was down for
I'm not going to argue with that. That's true.
Ramen Tatsuya is incredible.
Fucking amazing. God, I miss Ramen Tatsuya. Fuck.
I miss ramen.
Yeah, it's good. So, Eli, now you're not coming over to grab Lost Odyssey, but when you come over to grab Lost Odyssey, in quotes, or just come hang out, I ordered keto cereal that has 1 gram of carbs in it and almond milk, so I can hook you up and you can have your sweet tooth. I'll
thanks.
You can come get your gram.
Yeah, I got you a dime bag of cereal.
Carbs.
Carbs, but they're not carbs. It's great. It's like made out of like monk fruit and soy or something. And it's great.
You know, soy will turn you into a girl. It happened to me, folks.
Ultimate soy boy, Matty Weapon.
Weird, because I eat soy things and I'm turning into a boy.
Maybe you looped around.
I got so much estrogen in my body that it just like came full circle and turned into testosterone.
Yeah, you got to 6,536
overflow error
estrogen, and it overflowed back down to 0.
It's like Gandhi in Civilization.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, what's your platinum trophy story, or 1,000 gamer score story, or any gaming achievement that you actually accomplished that you're proud of?
My platinum trophy story is that Undertale came out on the PlayStation 4, and I beat the entire game, and it gave me all the trophies. Because I'm really good at Undertale now, and by really good I mean I can get through without dying most of the time, and on a true pacifist, not on a genocide. But like Toby Fox made a bunch of achievements because PlayStation required him to make achievements.
Yeah, and they're like jokey.
Yeah, they're all really jokey achievements. They're really easy to get, and like there's this whole thing underneath Papyrus's fridge where you have to donate, or you don't have to, but I mean it's for achievements. You can donate your gold to the dog, to the annoying dog, and it'll like build stuff. What's really, really funny about that is that for the Nintendo Switch version, there's no such thing as achievements on Nintendo. So you can go into that room, but that room is fucking trashed. It's hilarious. And there's actually another boss fight in there on the Nintendo version, and it's a great boss fight.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my boring platinum trophy story was I, for some reason, really liked. I mean, I also say it's like a 4.5 out of 10, barely playable trash game. But I also really love the original Assassin's Creed. My problems with it are all due to balance and not game design. That's why I'm glad that it made a bajillion sequels where they could fix all of that. But the original Assassin's Creed, I cussed my way through the whole campaign because instead of making the challenges difficult, they just made more drunk people to hit you and break you out of your hiding hole. And I hated that. It made it super frustrating because there was nothing you could do to defend against that. And so you didn't get good, you just suffered through it. But it also had 1,001 hidden fucking flags and
so many
feathers and shit. And so I just was like, yeah, running across buildings is fun, so I'm going to do that. And I got all of them over a weekend back in college, and it was great. But that one's not very exciting. It's just I did all the things. One of my favorite platinum trophy stories is not actually, I haven't actually done it, but I was reading, I was looking up when to stop for Higurashi, and so I was looking at the achievements to see, because it's a visual novel. It has to have achievements on Steam, so it's going to basically just be chapter markers. That's how Cosmic Star Heroine was as well. And so I was like, well, let me see where we should stop. And I found a Steam achievement guide for Higurashi, and it says, go to your options, tell it okay to skip unread text, click that toggle, click auto mode speed all the way to the maximum, click play, click auto, walk away, come back in 5 minutes, and you've got a platinum.
That's really funny. I love that.
Yeah, but what about you?
I have one that I just did a few days ago. So there's that game that I love, Celeste, one of the best platformers of all time, bar none. It is absolutely the best of the modern style of platformer, the modern precision
the Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, Super Meat Boy
genre.
Precision platformer kind of thing. I think it blows all those other games out of the water. It's an absolutely incredible video game. And one of my... I think it's the hardest video game that I've ever gotten really good at. Because I'm not very good at games. I'm usually just stubborn, right? And I play a lot of hard games, but a lot of games that are hard, I'll beat them and I'll be like, cool, I beat it. Or I'll beat it and then, or I'll not beat it and I'll give up because it's too hard. I'll be like, cool, that game ruled. It's too hard, right? But this game, despite being, FYI, don't let me scare you away. The regular, the story mode of the game is actually very, very reasonable difficulty. It's a lot of fun. In fact, it might even be a little too easy. Anyone can play it and have a good time. You'll die. I mean, you'll die a lot, but it's fine.
And on top of that, they also have a bunch of assist modes. Celeste having an assist mode is kind of what started the modern conversation about assist modes. Like Celeste having one and Sekiro having one.
Yeah,
those two together pretty much made that the current.
Yeah. So it's real good, and you should play the normal mode at least. But it's got all these. It's got B-sides, which are basically complete. It's a complete another campaign of the same levels, but they're way harder now. And then there's C-sides, which are even more harder now. Anyway, I 100%ed all of it. Got all the strawberries, beat the B-side, beat the C-sides. I didn't beat the golden strawberries, but I don't consider that to count because, frankly, it's complete horseshit, and I'm pretty sure everyone, including the developers, knows that it's horseshit. A golden strawberry is beat the entire chapter without dying a single time.
Oh.
And to be clear, a chapter will take you, if you beat it without dying, it will take you 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's
a precision. Imagine playing Super Meat Boy for 30 minutes without dying, right? Yeah. I actually did get golden strawberries for the first 3 chapters because I love the game that much. But anyway, 100%ed it, and then they released Chapter 9, and Chapter 9 doesn't have A or B or C sides. It's just one chapter, but it's stupid long, and it's the hardest content of the whole game. Actually, a lot of people are upset about it because they're like, I just want to see the story. Why are you making it so hard that only people who beat all the secret hard levels can play it? And I'm like, okay, that's what assist modes are. What assist modes are for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I did beat it. It gets bitchin' hard. For context, the original base game, I had around 7,500 deaths for the entire base game. Chapter 9, I had 2,500 deaths.
Fun.
That's 1/3 the amount of deaths on the entire rest of the game on the final DLC they just released.
That is a lot.
Anyway, it's amazing, and I finally beat it, and I feel real proud of myself because and I didn't use any assist modes. Also, Madeline is a trans icon, so there you go.
Yeah.
My other one is
speaking of Madeline being a trans icon. Did you see the guy on Twitter yesterday blowing up because she has a pride flag on her desk in Chapter 9?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why she's a trans icon.
I know.
She also has some interesting pills by her bed and a photo of her as a child where she looks like she's not a she in her photo of her as a child.
Yeah.
Really?
But did you see the specifically
the Easter egg at the end of the game is that she might actually be canon trans.
Yeah, but I'm asking if you saw the guy on Twitter that started the whole blow up.
I want to see it. Send me a link.
Okay.
What did he say?
He's at One Angry Gamer HD, but he's like, it's the most colorful thing in the frame, and everyone's like, no, like her hair is. He's like, but if you zoom in, it's way more colors than the rest of it. He's like, why would you zoom in? Because that's where the flags are. And like, why would you like? That doesn't make that. Those nullify each other.
Oh, he's like mad that they're like drawing attention to it, like trying to push their gay SJW politics.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
yeah,
it's great. But I love,
and also like Matt Thorson's non-binary now, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not now. You know what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great.
Anyway, my other little story is Sonic Generations. I 1,000 gamer scored Sonic Generations, and that's an interesting story. Not because it was that hard, although it was somewhat hard. There's some tough ones on there. But what's so cool about that is that it was such a good game. The fact that it was a good enough game for me to be motivated to do it. You know, Sonic Generations totally surprised me and a lot of people with how really fucking good it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's like 2011 and I'm loving this Sonic the Hedgehog video game.
Yeah.
That was before I grew up and realized that every Sonic game was good.
Every Sonic game is good.
So anyway, yeah, Sonic Generations, it's a great game.
Yeah.
You should 100% it. Actually don't, because one or two of them are complete horseshit.
But everyone should at least play it because it's really good. And of all of the like throwback pandering sort of games that have happened since then, first off, it was the first one, so it's good. But it's also like tastefully done, and not just like, it's like, no offense to Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is just, what if we played these awesome stages again, but the layouts were different, and it's like straight up Sonic and Knuckles 2.
Yeah.
Like, Generations doesn't really do that. Like, you end up getting like side-scrolling versions of adventure stages, and you get adventure versions.
The reimagining of levels as different ways is really cool and interesting.
Yeah, it's hella good. And also, Tails makes a joke that whoops, I turned my camera off on accident.
What is he hiding?
But boobs. I don't want to get taken down off of Twitch. But
I have those now.
But Tails makes a joke that it added me on Twitter pretty much, because you get to the chemical plant zone and modern Sonic and Tails are like, what's going on? And Sonic is like, what's that purple water? And Tails goes, I don't know, but suddenly I'm anxious. And I'm like, same. Literal same. Chemical plant zones, purple water will haunt me for the rest of my whole life.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So the next question is, and I love this one, and so I'm going to take the first answer. Would you like to see more RPGs inspired by cultures we haven't seen a lot of? And my answer is hell fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if you look back over the pantheon of spooky, witchy TV shows, you have Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Charmed, OG, and Supernatural. All of those are based on Christian mythology plus Wicca. Like, that's what they got
it's all
going
Western
on.
European stuff.
It's all Western European stuff. So when they announced they were redoing Charmed for the new one, me and Summer were like, it would be so great if instead of the same shit that we always got with the old one, if everyone was a person of color and it was all like Creole and Yoruba and other mythologies that like you don't ever hear about, then Charmed came out and it's about all those other things, and it's fucking fantastic because I don't know, like in the OG Charmed, someone turns into a Wendigo. Well, I've heard Wendigo stories since I was a fucking kid. I know how Wendigos go. But for the new Charmed, it's like, oh, this mark is a mark in Yoruba. I don't know what that means. I don't know nothing. Yeah. I get to learn, and it's like
I would also. I don't know. With the original Charmed, I'd be pretty scared if someone turned into a weird font that I can't read.
Not wingdings, a Wendigo. You know, the weird like skeleton monster that traps people in its chest from Legend of Dragoon.
Yeah, that thing.
But yeah, like I want to see a Russian mythology JRPG. I want like I know that we get a lot of stuff about Japanese mythology, but like only Okami has ever done it like kind of straight, and even then it's not that exact. Like I just want like Journey to the West, no changes. I want that RPG. Like I just want to play as a monkey boy on a cloud, but not then go find Dragon Balls. I just want to Journey to the West. Like there's so many cultures I don't even know anything about that probably have a super rich history. Like
yeah, I was gonna say I think there's probably a lot of South American and African that would be really interesting.
Yeah, hard agree. It would be fucking great. And you know, hopefully by people who are from those cultures and aren't just
right.
white dudes who can use Wikipedia. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah. And like
they don't be the J.K. Rowlings of the RPG world, please.
Oh God.
So speaking of J.K. Rowling, there was a Clickhole article this week that was magnificent, and it was like too much information or something. It's like J.K. Rowling confirmed that after Harry graduated, Hagrid had no friends, and when he died, it took them a couple of days to notice.
I saw that. It was really good.
Oh God, J.K. Rowling was a mistake.
I love it.
I'm glad that Hatsune Miku wrote Harry Potter.
yeah.
Yeah, and Des Extreme's her suggestion was Australian-inspired RPGs, and like, fuck yeah, man. Like, even if it's not mythologies from other cultures, if it's like, this is a JRPG about surviving in the fucking outback, like, I'll take it. Like, I want that.
Fighting kangaroos.
I want that shit, man. But,
getting poisoned by platypi.
Another interesting twist on a question that gets asked a lot is if you could have a modern game, not a classic game, a modern game be remade into 2D or Octopath's HD 2D style, what would it be? If you could demake something into the Octopath engine.
Dark Souls. Into a 2D thing to make it more like Hollow Knight, I would play that.
Yeah, actually, I think that would own, because like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 1, its own, it's like whole Metroidvania thing that it has going on, and like the expansive looking everywhere and stuff. Like I could see that working pretty well in a Octopath-esque thing. And it obviously wouldn't be exactly like Dark Souls to therefore ruin it. I am hoping that this would be made by like, this wouldn't be them porting Dark Souls to the SNES. This would be someone making like Dark Souls Advanced Adventure or something, and it would be planned around. But what were you about to say, Eli?
You initially said 2D or 2D kind of thing in a 3D environment. I'm thinking just 2D.
Yeah, like either way, I think would be good. Like Hollow Knight proves that the Dark Souls style of like weighty combat and reading your opponents and stuff works in 2D.
Yes, and I'm actually good at that game.
Yeah.
I could be good at Dark Souls if it wasn't in fucking 3D. Like, this is part of the problem is, like, I don't do well in 3D environments. I have terrible aim. I have no sense of direction. Like, I just, I can't wrap my head. How can anyone think in so many dimensions?
But
I can't comprehend it.
But, so, this is inspired by a game that's coming out in HD real soon. But, back in 2009, they remade the first Star Ocean game from the SNES, but they put it on the PSP, which is practically just a PlayStation 1 with a faster processor. So it was a pre-rendered game made a bajillion years after people stopped doing pre-rendered, and so it was fantastic. I would love that with some of the more recent RPGs, like, say, Star Ocean 5. Like, if Star Ocean 5 had a fucking pre-rendered background version, that would own. Go ahead and throw in, like, Persona and all these other huge, awesome RPGs, just to have, like, a canon version that's just a beautiful throwback with pre-rendered backgrounds. Basically, pre-rendered should make a comeback.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip off Sam's answer here, because when I played Resident Evil original, but the GameCube remake of it, ported to HD on PS4 earlier this year, my main thought was, oh my fucking god, pre-rendered backgrounds were the number one thing in the PS1 era, and then they stopped doing them because they didn't have to anymore because of technological innovations. But playing a GameCube game with pre-rendered backgrounds, I was like, these are fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Why did we stop doing this?
Yeah.
Instead of making better pre-rendered backgrounds, we just stopped doing them because we could do full 3D now, right? Mm-hmm. But also Final Fantasy X had a lot of them as well.
Mm-hmm. And they were so good in Final Fantasy X. I, like, as a kid, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I didn't know until later. I was like, oh, those are pre-rendered. I would love to see modern or classic games done in a FF789 style, pre-rendered 3D models moving around, which isn't exactly the question, but it's still an old school style, but it's a different old school style. To answer the question a little more, though, I had something in my brain. What the hell was it? Oh, right, here we go. This game actually already exists. It just needs to exist in English. They remade Xenosaga 1 and 2 on the DS.
Yeah.
With 2D classic RPG graphics and just not voice-acted cutscenes, just regular sprite cutscenes. I just have a hunch that that's probably really good.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of ways Xenosaga 1 and 2 would be better if they were 2D typical RPGs and you could click through the dialogue instead of waiting for the super long cutscenes to end. You could just read it instead and it'd be faster. And also, since it's one game, Xenosaga 1 and 2 is like they condense it into one game. It's got like a coherent battle system throughout the whole story, right? I bet that game rules, and someone should do like, it's not a shit ton of work, but still, it's a shame no one's done a localization patch because it's just too obscure and no one gives a shit.
I feel like there is one, but
I think someone's working on it, but it hasn't been updated in like a decade because, again, who cares? So I want that.
Yeah, that would be dope.
It would be dope.
Also, Xenoblade Chronicles, I would love in the specifically like Star Ocean 2's battle style, where it's a 3D, you're moving around a 3D battle, but your sprites and everything. I just think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 would look hella good with that sort of shit going on.
That'd be dope.
Our final question, my answer is gonna post cringe and make us lose subscriber, but.
Always.
What is the best pizza topping?
Oh God, what is it, Sam?
It's pineapple. No, actually, it's Canadian bacon. Canadian bacon is the best.
That's not cringe. It's just fine. Whatever.
But the pineapple was the posting cringe. Make us a lose subscriber.
That's fine. I like pineapple.
I don't like pineapple. I like pineapple juice, but only if it's mixed in with other juices.
Yeah.
I'm very picky.
My answer is I'm going to give two answers.
I did
look,
too.
I'm sorry. You can experiment all you want, and having variety is definitely fun. I just went to the store recently, and I always get frozen food to supplement my actual cooking in case I'm too lazy and don't feel like cooking that day. Mm-hmm. And they had a sale, so I got 3 pizzas because it's like 3 for like $9 or something, which is crazy. In California it is. In Texas that's normal. Yeah. Anyway, all 3 of the ones I got were like unusual, like pesto chicken or whatever the fuck, and those are fun. But like regular ass pepperoni pizza is so fucking good, right? Like, it's so good. You can't beat it. My second one is mushrooms, because mushrooms are a miracle food that makes anything taste delicious.
You are a woman after my own heart, because those are my answers. Pepperoni and mushrooms. Mushrooms.
Actually, I don't think I would put the two together, though. Actually, I don't think I would put mushrooms on pepperoni pizza.
I love pepperoni mushroom pizza.
You can, but I think it goes better more on like white sauce. But you can put mushrooms on anything if you want.
Yeah, that's
I will eat mushrooms on any kind of pizza for sure.
True. Yeah. So that's all the time we've got. I got to get back to playing Paper Mario Sticker Star on my Nintendo 3DS.
Good joke, Sam.
Thank you. But yeah, that's all of our Q&A. It's still so sad that a live episode only went an hour and 30 minutes. But yeah, I don't have much else to vamp about. Eli, do you want to talk about Space Mutiny a little? I know that Maddie probably 100% didn't watch it.
Yeah, the MST3K Space Mutiny is great. The movie is... I feel like it would be unwatchable if it wasn't for people riffing it.
So,
Sam has a different take on that.
Yeah. So, I'm going to preface this with what was originally my conclusion statement. I am so glad that Mystery Science Theater 3000 exists, and I'm so glad that everybody loves it. It is also not for me. It is like. While watching it, the style of riffing just kind of was like throwing out random things to say and making a lot of culture references, which for a person who loves Homestuck, that's a weird thing for me to say, but it's slightly different in Homestuck. But it was like, oh, you're Andrew Lloyd Webber or something, and I'm like, okay, type thing. And
I would be mad for them making me remember about Andrew Lloyd Webber.
And there are parts that I really, really love. So starting on the positive note again, the movie kills people by pushing them over a railing too often. Like if say there are 100 character deaths in this movie, 95 of them are being shot and then they fall over a railing.
It's like funny.
That was the only stunt they knew how to pull off, and they would put down the mattress and then toss someone over a railing. And that's it. And so they're like counting how many times it happens, which is like okay. But then at one point, the weird bird dog shaped robot.
Oh, that's Tom Servo.
So Servo. So they're watching, and it's like the climax of the movie, and somebody gets shot, and they fall off the railing, and Servo is
you're thinking of the gold one, right? That's Crow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Crow.
So then Crow is like, God damn it, this is brilliant. Did you see that? He got shot, and he fell over the railing. I don't know why you're saying this is a bad movie. This is a fucking masterpiece. And that caught me. It made me giggle so much.
There's one point in the movie where some woman gets killed, and then like a scene or two later, she shows up again, and they're like, wait, she's dead.
Yeah, those sorts of things that are like engaging with the material to then make a joke on it, I really, really enjoyed. And maybe Space Mutiny, like is too good of a movie underneath, and so for the first 10 minutes it's like just a boring movie. It's not a bad movie. Its badness starts later, and so maybe I like started on the wrong foot with it. Maybe I would enjoy other ones more, but for the most part, it just was like. So I made a comparison that it turned out to be the perfect movie for Cosmic Star Heroine's movie night, because Cosmic Star Heroine, I sometimes would wish the jokes would shut up and just let me watch the dumb, weird, bad sci-fi JRPG that it was trying to be. And I felt
it's like it's MS3 TKing itself.
Yeah. And so that's how I felt for part of it. And the good news is Space Mutiny is free on Amazon Prime, so you can go and watch the original if the MST3K is not for you.
Yes.
And I'd actually do that, but doesn't prevent the girl from coming back alive one scene after she died.
Here's the thing. I didn't watch it because I actually thought we were doing it next week. But also, I didn't watch it for movie night. But also, I didn't watch it because I don't know. Shouldn't I watch Mystery Science Theater 1 through 2999 first?
Wow.
I bet no one ever made that joke before.
I'm sure they have not.
But yeah, I was Googling to see like if I was being contrarian or if there was a like an undercurrent of people that just say it's not funny, and like nobody else says it, so it's probably me. Like every other person says that it's phenomenal and it's great.
I mean,
and
I think it's hit and miss. I've seen some good ones and some bad ones.
Oh, for sure. And I think that there's like you're less likely to see people who are like, no, I don't care for it, because they just don't really think about it. They don't really watch it, and it's kind of a niche thing.
Yeah, that's true. The two opinions are like, don't know what it is and love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I saw one forum thread where somebody was like, okay, this has been suggested to me forever, and I watched it and I just don't get it. But then like they were downvoted to oblivion, where like everyone was like, no, this is great. It's awesome. And so I'm like, maybe like
I think it might also
maybe it's me.
I think it might also be a little bit of the nerd bro culture where like they feel like
definitely.
You know, it's kind of a rite of passage as a nerd to watch MST3K. Yeah. For me, I just watched it growing up and I thought it was funny. Like I don't participate in fandoms generally, and like that's a reason why, because like I don't want to be harangued because I don't like something, and I don't want to be accused of being a sheep. Just being like, you know, oh, well, you just like it because everybody else does, you know? And so, like, I just try to stay the hell away from fandoms in general.
Yeah. But, the main reason why I'm so glad it exists is because in 1988, there was literally nothing like this at all.
Yeah.
In the realm of the Tosh.0s and the America's Funniest Home Videos and all of that stuff that have happened now, yeah, it's like, oh, if we're going to do, like, just taking MST3K, there are, if you don't like one of them, there are two alternatives for you. There's a podcast and Riff Tracks and MST3K all on the air right now. That's like, you have a choice of that exact flavor of entertainment. But in 1988, didn't exist. And there were some people that are like, I think I can make a show because I just found out I can buy the rebroadcast rights to this shitty 1950s movie for like $10. So let's do that. And then we'll have our stupid variety show in the middle of it and tell a weird sci-fi plot that we all like and all of these things. And like, even though I don't like the final product, a lot of other people do. And I made this, what probably sounded ironically yesterday in the Discord, but I mean it completely unironically. There's too much good shit out there, so make something fucking shitty. And like, yeah, MST3K has become a cult classic, and everyone in the cult is culty about it and loves it, but it didn't like just like change everything. It just made a different genre of reality show that can exist. And like, that's okay because people love it anyways. And so if you...
Why must a show be good?
Isn't it enough to see a face huge? But, so, like, if you're like, man, it would be so cool if there was an anime about plumbers or whatever the fuck that you like, that you have an idea for, and you're like, but I'm not good enough for it. Yeah, you are. MST3K was enough to invent an entire genre of entertainment. So,
yep.
And they had $0, and it was built on the backs of shitty movies. So there's no, like, at no point did talent enter into the equation. It just was, we got here first and we were competent enough. So just make some shitty stuff. Like, in the Discord, it was Desert Stream was saying, I wish I was a good musician so I could start a band. And I'm like, no, you start a band when you're a bad musician.
Have you listened to bands?
Yeah, you should be like, just make some shitty music. Like,
go listen to Sans band. I'm just kidding.
Right? I mean, yeah, go listen to our band. We're not good. But like, it, like, that actually holds truer than, like, because, like, I said it kind of jokily and I meant it not ironically, but thinking about it, it's actually really, really true. Like, look at all of the people that, like, have a major in music and can play the fucking grand piano, and look at what they've done with that versus look at the, like, 4 friends in their fucking garage in Southern California in 1999 that invented modern pop punk just by being Blink and playing fucking shitty music together. I mean, Green Day was a little before it, so I can't say invented, but they definitely are one of the creative voices for that whole genre. And it didn't happen because they were good. It happened because they just did it. And
people liked it.
And I feel like everyone should do that. And MST3K is that writ large, where it just was some low budget, hangy outy sort of thing, and it
That's
became
a good point.
huge thing. And I'm glad that it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's as much vamping as I can do, and I feel so sad that this episode is so short. But
thank you for that little speech thing. That was very inspiring.
I need this to be shorter because I really have to pee.
Awesome.
These
so
go on too long for my tiny bladder.
I know. But as a reminder, I said it earlier, we are saving on the world map before we enter the Grand Staff construction site in Lost Odyssey.
Counterpoint, there's not a world map.
Not counterpoint. There's 100% a world map, and that's where you save. There's no JRPG world map, but there is
So you can save when you're on that map screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was misremembering the game.
Yeah, you can save on that map screen. So it's not you walk out and you're big and buildings are small. It is a literal map, and you click where to go, and so save there. And if it doesn't let you save on the map screen for some reason, go into anywhere else besides Grand Staff construction site
and then save. Yeah.
But so we'll do that on Monday. Eli will let you know what cutscene that is. I also will link the movie version that you're watching in our thingy. So if you don't have an Xbox 360 or yours is red ringed and you don't have an Xbox One, this is kind of the least available game we've ever played. But besides, like, the old fan translation ones. But if you don't have the 360 to play it, there are quite a few Let's Plays and also movie cuts that are pretty good. So I will link those. But as always, if you want to help us pay for shit, you can do so at ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub, or you can find all of our links on rpgbook.club. And that's where you can look at my new JRPG canon video I did, article that I did, which is good, and that has links to our Discord, where we got some new people last night that came because I went on #JRPG on Twitter, and I followed everybody that I could, and it worked, and I got a few new people, like Astracat from last night. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. So come and hang out in our Discord. We like people. Another way to help us reach more people is to tell your friends that we're cool and they should listen to us. B, give us reviews on Apple Podcasts, because that's the algorithm. That's the database that's part of the algorithm for that database, and that's the database that runs most of the podcatchers. So, yeah. For RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Larry the Cucumber. No, I'm Maddie.
Adios, folks.
Toodaloo.
Bye, nerds.
It's a movie magic.
You know what's a great word?
It takes forever.
Edited.
What? Edited?
Edited.
It is a good word.
Edited.
Edited.
It's actually a terrible word, but we have to say it a lot in these modern times. Especially if you're saying, I edited it.
Yeah, I edited it.
I edited it. I edited it.
Where do you stop? Where's the line?
Could you
Out
imagine?
here in the Bay, there's like a treat, like an icy treat called an it, I think. So if the company, I don't know, say the company made a tweet about the new Stephen King movie, you could say, I edited it. I edited it tweet.
Imagine someone with a stutter trying to say, I edited it.
Oh. Wait, isn't that you?
I mean, yeah.